Hi everyone, it's Terry here sharing another process video for Bramble Fox. Today I'm using the Go Anywhere set of perspectives, a few stars from my stash and the little tag from one of the boxes, and I've also pulled out the Fox Dies number 7, these fab stars. So I've cut them out of some patterned paper that coordinates with my collection that I'm going to use. And I'm using the Paige Evans Go the Scenic Route from last year with this travel inspired layout. So I'm sticking with the travel theme as I did with my last layout, but this is a different trip to India. This is a photo from Mysore Palace. So I've got this frame that I've cut out from the same patterned paper that I cut those stars out with the dies. So I'm going to use this as my frame, and I'm just adding a piece of marshmallow cardstock, which I've distressed the edges to create my background. I'm going to add some mixed media to the background of this layout using some watercolours from the Amy Tangerine Brave and Bold collection. So I'm just using this bright yellow and the packaging technique to add some colour to the background. I'm going with quite a central design for this layout, and I want to use a lot of the squares that are in the 2x2 cut apart sheet. So I'm going with the reds, yellows and oranges that are in this background colour to coordinate with that frame. So I add a few splashes of each colour, and then I also pull out some metallic gold acrylic ink that I use to add some more splashes and a bit of metallic sparkle to the layout. So I'm going to set that to one side to dry, and once it's dry I'm going to add some stitching to the border. But first I'm going to start looking at matting my photo on this leftover piece of patterned paper that is the same as the frame, and then I'm going to cut out some of the 2x2 squares from this patterned paper, focusing on the oranges and reds and also some of the blue colours, because I want to pull in some of that aqua shade that's in this collection. And as I mentioned before, I am going to stitch around the edge of my layout, and I'm stitching around the edge in an aqua turquoise thread to pull it all together as well. So I'm cutting out, I think I cut out about 8 of these squares, but in the end I only actually use 6. And I go through and I just distress the edges of each of them. So I like the way a distressed edge kind of makes them stand off the page, and it gives them a little bit of texture. So now I'm going to put them to one side and pull my background in, which you can see I've already stitched around the edge with. So I'm going with a layered look for this layout, just tucking in those patterned paper squares in and around the central photo. And I'm trying to make it so that there's a mix of both colours on each side, so a couple of the blues and a couple of the reddy pink colours. So I'm starting to stick these down, and I am just adding a small amount of glue to each square, just a couple of strips, and I do compress the layers a little bit here so that you can see some of the mixed media background, but a lot of it gets covered up now. So I'm just overlapping those squares and making it so that they're not completely symmetrical, and then adding in that photo over the top on foam squares. So I've got those cut pieces that I showed you earlier using the Fox Dies number 7, and they're from the same patterned paper that background frame is from, so they coordinate really well. And I'm just working out where I want to tuck them under some of those layers so that they're kind of peeking out. I've got this fab Take the Scenic Route signpost that I want to add. So I'm just going to add it to the left hand side of the photo using glossy accents, and the Go Anywhere is going to be my title, and I really wanted to use this, so that's why I'm pulling in some of the aqua tones that are in this collection, as well as using the pinks and reds and oranges. So I'm looking at how I can use that third die cut piece, and I'm just going to leave it poking out the top of my photo there. It just kind of takes away from the harsh lines at the top of that cluster. And I'm going through the ephemera pack and looking at any pieces now that I can use to embellish in and around all those layers. So I'm just going through looking for some smaller elements. And now I've got the word stickers, so I'm going to use these yellow ones. One says travel and the other says fun. So yellow's not a colour I'm automatically drawn to, but I thought these worked really well on this layout. So I'm just wondering whether I can add any of the other words, but decide against it. And like I said before, I've not stuck everything down really flush. I've just added it with a small amount of glue so that it does stand out off the background a little bit. And now I'm pulling out some of the stickers from the same collection, and there's this beautiful globe that's got all the different colours in, and also some metallic blue to it. And that beautiful mandala in the middle is all metallic blue, and there's also two smaller mandalas with the same colouring from the sticker sheet that I've pulled out and just slotted underneath some of those layers. There's a lot of fab word stickers on this sticker sheet, so what I'm trying to do is incorporate some of them in this layout as well. So I've pulled out the word that says smile, and the smile letters are actually in that metallic blue, so it coordinates and pulls everything together. And then I've got the sticker that says happy. I've got some metallic blue thread that I'm just going to create a bow with to add on top of that pink tag that I'm going to stick to the top right hand corner of the photo, just for a bit of a different look and a bit of height to the page. So I've pulled out some red stars. I have got this camera from an older Fox box, but I do decide not to use it. And now I've got some red stars that I'm just going to dot in and around those clusters. So here's my completed layout. I've just added some journaling under the title, and thank you for joining me again today on YouTube. Check out the description below for all the links to our social media and the products I've used today. Bye for now.